Blizzcon 2026 seems to be the most anticipated event that Blizzard will ever hold. The future of the entire World of Warcraft IP is in question, with the World Soul saga coming to an end on retail after the next expansion, Season of Discovery being confirmed to not be developed anymore or cared for, and the uncertainty what will happen after the last patch of the Burning Crusade Anniversary Fury of the Sunwheel hits in November. Never before has this franchise been shrouded by doubt and mystery over the future, but I firmly believe on the classic side we will most likely get the inevitable Wrath of the Lich King Anniversary service, and in this video I'm gonna break down why we're gonna get the Wrath of the Lich King Anniversary, what this is gonna mean for the classic community, what numbers of Wrath of the Lich King Anniversary might look like, how much money Blizzard potentially might make on those servers, and so much more. If you're new to this channel, I stream World of Warcraft every single day, so please consider dropping a like and a subscription if you wanna support a small-time creator. Thank you so much. Now let's get into the video. TBC Anniversary was actually a pretty big hit for Blizzard. I believe that Blizzard was unprepared how much money they will make from TBC Anniversary. With clever marketing and good planning, them offering the level 58 boosts for people who have skipped the classic anniversary portion of the anniversary service but really wanted to play the Burning Crusade, really didn't have any option other than to buy the boost, because getting to level 16 classic is still a pretty big quest even if you know what you're doing and you have been playing this classic aspect of WoW for a very long time. Along with the boost, they were also selling flying mounts, ground mounts, which means that they knew that players wanted to save gold, or those players who didn't want to save gold but were just coming in fresh into TBC didn't really have any of those mounts. So Blizzard made quite a buck on TBC Anniversary. And in my community at least, people generally agree that TBC is kind of the weaker expansion from the big trio, which would be Vanilla World of Warcraft, the Burning Crusade, and Wrath of the Lich King. And I think Blizzard also understands that Wrath of the Lich King is this big expansion that everybody is looking forward to. I also firmly believe that they just want to milk Arthas Menethil one last time before all the Wrath of the Lich King elements, or at least some of them, are going to be kind of melded into Classic Plus, which is most likely also going to be revealed on Blizzcon. The numbers of Wrath of the Lich King Phase 1 that happened all the way back in the distant 2023 was actually pretty impressive for a classic expansion. Over 700,000 raiders raided the first raid of Wrath of the Lich King. Many of them also participated in the Winterspring Epic Battleground activities, while others just wanted to explore Northrend, what they believed at the time to be the last time that Blizzard will release Wrath of the Lich King. Wrath of the Lich King, for many people, the so-called Red Babies, is the pinnacle of classic WoW. It brought in many spells for many classes that really improved the gameplay of them and made them a bit smoother and more fun to play. If you take my class, for example, I'm a Shaman main. My class, if we take Elemental, for example, I'm gonna get Lava Burst, I'm gonna get Hex. On the Enhanced side, I'm gonna get Lava Lash. So my character is gonna get more buttons, and I'm gonna get finally crowd control, which Shaman is known to lack throughout TBC and Vanilla World of Warcraft. The revival of Epic Battlegrounds in the form of Winterspring Farm for the first phase of Wrath of the Lich King also must not be neglected. There will be at least 100 to 150 lobbies of Winterspring running, basically 24/7 for the first month of Wrath of the Lich King. If you played the pre-patch of TBC Anniversary, you know that we had over hundreds of AV lobbies running 24/7 because people were trying to get the high Warlord rank 14 gear so they could actually enter with something into the Burning Crusade and not get one-shotted by the first Spellbar after they have crossed the Dark Portal. Now you can imagine that people who have skipped TBC Anniversary, just how back in the past those who have skipped Classic Anniversary, they will be trying to get the last of the TBC Anniversary gear which is going to be available, and that is definitely not going to be the Sunwheel gear. It is going to be the last season's Honor set, or maybe the previous season Gladiator gear, so that when they finally take that ship to Northrend, they're not going to be there naked and not getting one-shotted by the first mob after they have landed. For many people, myself included, TBC dungeons were one of the weak parts of the expansion. The Wrath of the Lich King dungeons, on the other hand, are kind of very fondly remembered. However, there is one thing that nobody ever mentions about Wrath of the Lich King, and that is that the early raids are kind of weak. In the Phase 1 of Wrath of the Lich King, we will get the Vault of Archmon, and the only reason this raid is ever relevant is because it's tied to the Winterspring Epic Battleground, and this is why there's going to be so many Winterspring lobbies for a long time, because this is going to be one of the first raids that you can do. So many guilds are going to recruit even their casual players to somehow maybe make a 40-man raid so they could go in and win Winterspring, so that at evening times they can actually go and raid and get the gear from that raid. Because Blizzard decided to nerf all the raids in TBC Anniversary, the puck culture of TBC Anniversary has been very strong. While there are of course problems with the loot, everybody's HRing every piece of item that you want to have, the pug culture is still going strong, and even to this day, nearly 6 months after the release of TBC Anniversary, you can find raids for pretty much everything so long as you play at least somewhat a desired class. For example, me as a shaman, today I did Karazhan on a 1290 gear score elemental shaman. Nobody asked me about my gear score, nobody cared how much damage I did, they just wanted to have elemental shaman for my totems and my utility. And I believe this pug culture, at least on my server, is also gonna transfer to Wrath of Lich King, which means we're gonna have pug groups fighting guild groups in Winter Spring for the control of the raid, which I think is gonna be a very unique experience that possibly didn't exist back in the day in 2023 and also in original Wrath of the Lich King, because we didn't have this giga mega servers as we do now on Anniversary. So when we put all those facts into perspective, Wrath of the Lich King Phase 1 is gonna be absolutely ginormous. I think it's gonna surpass the 700,000 raiders that happened on Classic Wrath, and it's most likely gonna go over 1 million. And I think Blizzard is very well how much money they can make. So you guys should prepare for having epic Northern Pack, and we're gonna have the level 68 boost or whichever one they come up with for Wrath of the Lich King, and they're gonna make a lot of money. Blizzard is a very smart business. They know how to make money on Classic WoW, even though Classic WoW, in my humble opinion, is not the breadwinner here. It's always retail who is supporting the Classic servers. Between, let's say, there is 7 to 8 million subs in retail. If we take 1 million raiders on Wrath of the Lich King Anniversary, that is still a very tiny portion of the total subscribers that are playing World of Warcraft. But even with classic players being a smaller portion of the total subscriber number, if half of them are gonna buy the level boost, the other half is gonna buy the mounts, and the third half is gonna buy something else, this is still gonna be a very sizable chunk of money for Blizzard. So inevitably we're gonna get a very squashed Wrath of the Lich King, which is gonna act the same way as TBC Anniversary. The main reason, however, Blizzard is doing this, I believe, isn't just for money. I believe they're probably gonna need more time for Classic Plus. I believe that there is very little chance the Classic Plus is coming this year, not on Blizzcon and not in March. It is most likely coming summer next year in 2027, probably late 2027, maybe even next Blizzcon. So we are still, you know, nearly a year and a half to Classic Plus, and I think Wrath of the Lich King is just gonna fill this timeline to give Blizzard time to come up with whatever content they have planned for Classic Plus, to polish everything, to make whatever plan they have in motion to make it happen so they can actually make Classic Plus profitable for them. Because we gotta face it, guys, if Classic Plus is not gonna be a profitable thing for them, they're gonna abandon it. So they need to make sure they have systems in place that are gonna make them money while keeping, of course, the Classic WoW experience. I really wanna hear your thoughts about Wrath of the Lich King or Classic Plus. In my community, half of them wanna have Wrath of the Lich King Anniversary and the other half wants to have Classic Plus. So I'm asking you, the broader World of Warcraft Classic community, what do you want first? Do you want them to completely forget about Wrath of the Lich King Anniversary and just push Classic Plus, no matter what state it is in, just push it out? Or would you give them another year, maybe a year and a half, so they could polish everything and replay out Wrath of the Lich King one last time and then Classic Plus? I would love to hear your thoughts, so drop it down in the comment section. And with that being said, guys, that's gonna be the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider leaving a like and a subscription, and I'll catch you guys in the next World of Warcraft video. This is Ace, signing out. Have a good evening.